Thousands of years ago, a mysterious people rode across the northern plains of India, or so the story goes. Were they fierce invaders who conquered an ancient land, or peaceful settlers who merged into its soul? For over a century, historians, archaeologists, and linguists have searched for the truth. But even today, the question remains: did the Aryans really invade India, or is it just a colonial myth? Join me as we journey back in time to uncover the secrets of the Aryan Invasion Theory and the dawn of the Vedic Age, an age that changed India forever. In the 19th century, during British rule, a new theory began to take shape in the minds of European scholars. They believed that thousands of years ago, a group of tall, fair-skinned nomadic people, whom they called the Aryans, came riding on horse-drawn chariots from the cold steppes of Central Asia. According to them, these Aryans invaded India around 1500 BCE, destroyed the great Indus Valley Civilization, and built a new culture, the Vedic civilization. It was a theory that tried to explain India's ancient past, but also one that would later spark endless debate and controversy. As the ancient cities of the Indus began to fade into silence, a new dawn rose on the Indian subcontinent, the beginning of what we now call the Vedic Age. It was around 1500 BCE when sacred hymns, chants, and spiritual verses were composed, not on paper but in memory and song. Wise sages, sitting under the open sky, recited verses in praise of nature, the rivers, the sun, the wind, and the eternal fire. These hymns, collected later in the Vedas, became the foundation of India's spiritual and philosophical thought. Ideas that still echo in temples, rituals, and hearts across India even today. In the early Vedic period, life was simple, peaceful, and deeply connected to nature. Society was tribal. People lived in small communities known as janas, led by a chief called the Rajan. He wasn't a mighty king but rather the protector of his people, chosen for his courage and wisdom. Cattle were not just animals. They were symbols of wealth, power, and prosperity. A man's riches were often measured by how many cows he owned. Agriculture and cattle rearing were at the heart of their lives. Families shared close bonds, and the land, rivers, and forests were considered sacred gifts of the gods. Religion was woven into daily life. People gathered around the sacred fire, the yajna, offering ghee, milk, and grains while chanting hymns to the gods. They prayed to Indra, the god of thunder and rain, to bless them with victory and crops, to Agni, the fire god, to carry their prayers to heaven, and to Varuna, the guardian of cosmic order, to keep the world in balance. These rituals were not just acts of faith. They were expressions of gratitude to nature, to life, and to the unseen forces that guided their world. It was a time when spirituality, community, and nature existed in perfect harmony. As centuries passed, the simplicity of the early Vedic life began to fade. Society started to grow, in number, in ambition, and in complexity. The once small tribal settlements slowly evolved into large, organized kingdoms. Power was now concentrated in the hands of kings. The Rajan of old became a mighty ruler, surrounded by priests, warriors, and ministers. Palaces replaced mud huts, and the idea of authority and hierarchy became stronger than ever before. With the discovery and use of iron, a new age began. Farmers cleared dense forests and cultivated larger lands. Iron plows turned the soil richer, giving birth to agricultural surplus, and with it trade, wealth, and new professions. The Varna system, which in the early times was based on one's occupation, now started turning rigid. Society became divided into four main classes: the Brahmins, who performed rituals and guided spiritual life, the Kshatriyas, who ruled and protected, the Vaishyas, who traded and farmed, and the Shudras, who served others. Religion too underwent change. The focus shifted from nature worship to complex rituals and sacrifices conducted by priests. The spiritual meaning of the hymns began to be overshadowed by material offerings. It was an age of transformation, when power, wealth, and ritual began to shape society. Yet beneath all this change, the spirit of the Vedas, the search for truth and cosmic order, continued to guide the hearts of the people. The Vedic age gave India its spiritual roots. the Vedas, rituals, and philosophies that continue to shape Indian culture to this day. So, was there really an Aryan invasion, or is it time to rewrite history? The debate continues. But one thing is certain: the Vedic age changed India forever.